And AI doesn't experience time in the way humans do. It doesn't get tired, regret the past, or worry about the future, lacking the emotional and temporal consciousness that defines our existence. But we humans, with our complex minds and deep-seated awareness of finitude, certainly do. Every second, we are relentlessly carried forward by time's unstoppable current, a constant, unyielding force that shapes our lives and perceptions. This relentless progression leads us to a profound and often unsettling question. What if time itself, this fundamental aspect of our reality, is a kind of curse rather than a blessing? Consider the ancient narratives and philosophical inquiries that ponder our origins. What if the very act of being cast out of a timeless eternity, a state of perpetual present, into a world governed by the rigid structures of clocks and calendars, was the original, foundational separation from a divine, boundless existence, from God? It sounds dramatic, perhaps even hyperbolic, but upon deeper reflection, time is undeniably the engine of our greatest sufferings and anxieties. Without its relentless forward march, there would be no aging, no inevitable decay of all things, and ultimately no death, which is perhaps our most profound fear. The constant, inescapable awareness that our time on this earth is finite, that every moment past is a moment lost forever, is a pervasive source of deep anxiety. This awareness traps us in a perpetual state of unease, caught between a past we can never change, no matter how much we dwell on it, and a future we can never fully control, despite our best efforts to plan and predict. And yet, throughout history, profound spiritual teachers such as Jesus have famously offered a different perspective, urging us to release this grip of temporal worry. He said, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them." This teaching challenges our ingrained human tendency to constantly plan and fret about tomorrow. Intellectually, we grasp the wisdom of these teachings. We understand that worrying doesn't genuinely help or change outcomes. However, despite this intellectual understanding, we find ourselves simply unable to stop the cycle of anxiety. We are perpetually stuck in the frustrating gap between knowing the truth of these spiritual insights and actually living them out in our daily lives. So, this begs the crucial question, why is this so incredibly hard for us to achieve? Is it merely a lack of faith, a deficiency in our spiritual conviction, or is there something far more fundamental, something deeply ingrained in our very nature that is going on beneath the surface? The answer extends beyond mere faith. It's deeply rooted in our biology and evolutionary history. Our brains are, at their core, ancient survival machines meticulously wired over millennia to constantly scan the horizon for potential threats and dangers, ensuring our ancestors' survival in a perilous world. Therefore, your anxiety isn't a spiritual flaw or a personal failing. It's a deeply ingrained evolutionary feature, a protective mechanism that has served humanity for eons. This ancient wiring is then compounded by the relentless pressures of modern society's demands for constant productivity, efficiency, and future planning, creating a perfect storm for chronic worry. The transformative shift begins when we consciously choose to stop perceiving time as an oppressive curse that we are constantly fighting against. Instead, we can start seeing it as a neutral canvas, a blank slate upon which we can paint our experiences, thereby fundamentally changing our entire relationship with its passage. True faith, in this context, isn't the complete absence of fear or anxiety, which are natural human emotions. Rather, it is the deliberate and consistent practice of choosing where to place your focus and attention, even while the uncomfortable feelings of anxiety are undeniably present within you. The ultimate goal isn't to entirely eliminate worry, which may be an unrealistic expectation given our biological wiring. Instead, the aim is to cultivate a profound sense of presence, consistently bringing our awareness back from the hypothetical future or the unchangeable past to the only moment that is truly real and accessible, right now, this very instant. This cultivation of presence is a practice, not merely a theoretical concept to be understood. It can be as simple and accessible as taking 60 seconds to consciously notice your breath, feeling its rhythm and flow, or embarking on a short walk and focusing solely on the sensation of your feet making contact with the ground, thereby training your brain to return to the immediate present. So, is time truly a curse? Perhaps the real curse lies not in time itself, but in our fearful and often anxious awareness of its relentless passage. However, time can also be reframed as an extraordinary gift, the very space and opportunity where we are privileged to learn, to grow, and most importantly, to love deeply and meaningfully. Ultimately, this journey is a lifelong practice of letting go of what we cannot control, one precious moment at a time, embracing the present with an open heart. Thank you for joining our thoughtful conversation today and exploring these profound ideas with us.